Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. Some while ago, one of my favorite booktubers told me that he never watches book haul videos, book unhaul videos, that sort of thing. And I think it was in response to some sort of comment I made about feeling inundated with so much booktube content. Now, I've slowed down my watching of booktube, but a while back, I made a practice of also not watching book haul videos, book unhaul videos. Now, there have been exceptions, and I've left comments here and there where I have made an exception, but as a rule, I don't watch book haul videos anymore. And with that, I decided not to make book haul videos either. In my case, the acquiring of a book doesn't really mean anything. It means I've got one more thing sitting in some dark, cavernous shelf somewhere that may well never get read. I decided to make an exception and just do a real short one. I went to the charity bookshop yesterday. I had business in the area, and so we have a couple of, we have boxes that sit on the floor and gradually get filled up with books. And if there's reason to be near the charity bookshop, out they go. So that was what happened. I actually thought about doing an unhaul video, but I did not do it. I cannot go into that shop without coming home with something. So I got 5 things. Generally speaking, where I go is the warehouse. They have stores throughout the city, probably about 5 of them, 4 of them, where the prices are a lot higher. But if you go to the warehouse and get things, they're less. And the only negative there is that they don't tend to clean as well. So dust settles on things, and you find very little that's in good shape, unless possibly something has just come in. So I tend to avoid those books. Particularly, I remember the Edith Wharton section. It seemed like decades of dust had settled on it, and it was a strange kind of green metallic dust that you kind of got shudders if you happen to touch. But right on the new arrivals table, I saw this, David Copperfield. I don't know that I'm ever going to read Dickens again, but I do know that if I do, I think that David Copperfield is going to be the one I undertake. It's rather big, so I don't know. So many booktubers have talked very highly of it, and I've kept my eye on it for a long while and just never seen one. The next one that I picked up was Daniel Deronda by George Eliot. I've also said to myself, the next Eliot book that I should read is this one. I'm not a stickler for these things. It's not a hard and fast commitment. And I thought, I saw this copy here. The cover's kind of messed up, but the book is in pretty good shape. And I thought, I think I have this at home. But what the heck? I bought it anyhow, and then when I got home, I found I do have it. Exact same book, except you can see the color difference. So this one will be going back next time. Then they had a couple of editions of this, and I may have one that I picked up last time. It's a book that comes around a lot, except this is the Norton Critical Edition, and so it contains critical material about Franklin's autobiography. And I don't know, again, that I will read this. I am trying to move away from American history a little bit, but who knows? Everything that I have read so far pertaining to American history has been enlightening, and I've enjoyed it. And so I may find myself reading this one day in spite of myself. Now, the next one is the Complete Kama Sutra It's another chunker. I read this when I was a kid. Not this edition. It was a paperback edition of the, I think, Richard Burton translation. And when this came out, I remember when this came out, sometime after that. Let me just see what year it came out. The first unabridged translation, 94. Yeah, so I was well before 1994 when I read the other one, and it seemed good enough to me. It's kind of boring, I guess, in some respects. And so I never bothered to pick this up. You can see it was once at a half-price books for $3, and I may very well have passed it up at half-price books for $3 one time because, well, I don't really need to read this again. But seeing it at the charity, I thought, well, I will grab it and just take a quick look, give it a once over and just see what is different about this edition. One thing which obviously is different is there's a lot more duplication. Some of these old texts, you'll have the text and then you'll have somebody rephrasing everything. And I believe the old edition cut out all that. So the last book that I picked up is really the prize in a way, but also in a way not the prize. If you follow my channel, you know that my project this year has been to read Henry Adams's History of the United States. I had no idea that Garry Wills wrote a book about it. I have so many books by Garry Wills, it's unbelievable. Back in the day when I was visiting bookshops regularly, the clearance shelves would often have titles by him for about $1 or $2, and I would just automatically pick them up. I think I've read a couple of them, maybe about Jesus and about Paul. I've looked at the one about Lincoln. This is sort of a relief in a way in that I don't have any issues about where I'm going to store this chunker because I have a box in the basement which just is devoted to Garry Wills books. So it will go there, and if I need to see it, perhaps when I'm finished with Henry Adams and the Making of America, I will know where to go. I will just pull it out and look at it. I've already flipped through it and found passages that I enjoyed quite a bit. Back here at page 391, he makes a good comparison between the portrayal that Henry Adams made of Napoleon and that made by Tolstoy in his great novel. Very interesting. And the introduction is interesting as well. But as I say, I've always found Wills kind of a bit of a boring writer, so I'll hold off on that. So those are just 5 new acquisitions to come into my house. I don't know if I'll be, hopefully I'll be having a recent reads video coming up soon. I'm closing in on the heels of this book, The Pelican History of Medieval Europe. I may even finish that today if luck is with me. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.